Good morning, YouTube. If you're like me, you just put your truck in four-wheel drive and the light didn't come on and you didn't have four-wheel drive. This is a 92 Dodge W150 with one of these vacuum engaged four-wheel drive systems. And I wanted to show you guys how to troubleshoot one of these so that you can see, is it a bad one of these, or is it a vacuum line problem, or is it just your light on the dash? What's up? So what you'll need is one of these and a little vacuum pump of some sort. I got this, it's a brake bleeder kit, and although it sucks for bleeding brakes, it works good for this type of thing. So you got two vacuum lines that come into here. This one disengages this, slides it away. The other one engages the four-wheel drive, slides it this way. So the first thing you want to check is, is it clean inside? Can you hear the little swooshing sound as you slide the fork back and forth? So take your vacuum line, go ahead and set it on one of your nipples. This is the disengaged nipple. Right, slide the fork over and give yourself a couple pumps of the vacuum. You should see the fork slide over, right? Go ahead and do it on the engaged side and draw it back. Now what you want to check as you pull that is how well does it hold vacuum, all right? And you see this one, it holds it okay, not great, but should be good enough to engage the four-wheel drive. Of course, check how it holds vacuum on the engaged side, because this is where your truck spends most of its time. If it fails this, you've got a big old vacuum leak. You see in my case, it's 10 millimeters of mercury. That's actually great. Engine vacuum over here isn't so much. Okay, so we just found out my little CAD device, it's okay. It hasn't failed, holds vacuum, and the fork slides. So, is it your light on the dash? So we'll go ahead and, this is the harness connector that plugs into the CAD. What you need to do is put a jumper in there and then come up to the dash with the cab of your truck. Take a key, put it in the ignition. You see, on comes my four-wheel drive light, so it's not the light in the dash. Okay then, so now you're saying, well, why the hell don't I have four-wheel drive? Well, at this point, you've checked your CAD, it works, and it holds vacuum. You've checked your light up in the cab, the light isn't burnt out and it's not fooling you. What you need to check now are the vacuum lines that go all the way to your transfer case. So hold on for a second, I don't have any fancy video editing goodness. So y'all are just gonna have to watch me plug this stuff back in. Bear with me here. It's only a few seconds of this. Okay. So go ahead, hook up your vacuum lines, all right? The red one goes to disengage. This one's black, that goes to the engaged side. Make sure it's hooked up. And make sure your fork has some room to slide back and forth. We've got our harness connector back on. We're simply sitting this here so I can watch the fork move back and forth. Now, I already know what's wrong with this, but I hope you guys can just get the gist of how this should work. So the truck's in two-wheel drive now, up in the cab, make sure yours is. Grab the vacuum line, one of the vacuum lines that go to the transfer case, and get it on to your vacuum pump. Damn, it's so friggin' tight. Right? So you get it onto there, and you start pulling some vacuum. This will take a second, because of course you're pulling vacuum all in the lines, all the way up to the transfer case. Right? Up it goes, slow and steady. just like the CAD system before, you want to pull some vacuum and check it. How does it hold the vacuum? Okay, you see mine sliding down a little bit. It's not so good. Not so bad either, because it's not fast. Gonna pull this up to 10 millimeters of mercury on the dial. Let's take a look at that. Slowly losing vacuum. Okay. Kind of sucks, but that's not such a big deal. This is really a small vacuum leak based on how bad it could be. So we'll take a look back up at our fork up here, and let's try to slide it. Nope, can't move that, right? So just like we tested, this red line on the disengage is working just fine. It has the fork pulled over here and it's pulled tight. We'll come back up to the cab. We'll put this in four-wheel drive. And now we come back down. And we check our vacuum. Now look at that. The vacuum gauge has dropped down. Obviously the vacuum has gone somewhere. Let's pull it tight again. Get some more vacuum in there. Sorry about the shake. Okay, not bad. Now let's look at our fork. Well, would you look at that? It slid back over, which means it would be engaging the collar in here. All right, so let's make sure we've got some more vacuum. And we'll run back up to the cab. Oh, gosh. Where did I put my key? Okay. Sorry guys, I'm kind of digging myself a hole here. I was trying to make this smooth. There are my keys. Okay, one more time. Bit of a fail here, like I said, no fancy editing, so y'all get to watch it the way it's probably gonna happen to you. All right, grab your key. All right, put it in the ignition, set it to on, check your four-wheel drive light. Look at that. Okay, so what was my problem here? It turns out for me that there are 4 vacuum lines that go to the transfer case, right? Here's one. 2 of them go to the CAD, and the 4th one goes to some air filter somewhere. In the case of my truck, someone else who didn't know what they were doing got these vacuum lines mixed up. So this should be connected to the manifold up on the engine, and the other line that's actually connected to the engine should be somewhere else. So the problem here is that my vacuum lines were mixed up. For you, you'll probably find that your CAD system is maybe no good, or you've got a bad vacuum line, or something like that. So, of course, all of this is stuff you got to check, but having one of these lets you check each thing individually, see if you can find out what your problem is. I hope this helped you guys. Keep in touch. Bye.